about to take you behind the scenes and show you the real YouTube metrics behind a $5 million a year business. And here's the shocking part. My YouTube channel itself only makes about $5,000 a month in ad revenue, give or take. So where does the rest of it come from? It comes from treating YouTube like what it really is: the world's second largest search engine and the most powerful client acquisition machine ever created. The truth is, most people have YouTube completely backwards. They're working for the algorithm, desperately trying to get views and subscribers when they should really be making the algorithm work for them to connect with their ideal clients. So if you want to start monetizing your YouTube channel from day one, not waiting for ad revenue or to hit 4,000 subscribers, etc., or sponsorships, all you need to do is comment monetize below this video or scan this QR code on your screen to grab our free guide on how to turn your expertise into income using YouTube, even if you have 0 subscribers. So let's dive into YouTube versus business numbers. Let me put this into perspective for you. My actual analytics from the first 6 months of 2025, from January to June roughly of 2025, our business generated the following: $3 million in total revenue, $2.6 million in actual cash collected, 5,571 sales calls booked organically, 2.6 million YouTube views, 226,000 hours of watch time, 77,000 new subscribers, but only $30,000 in YouTube AdSense revenue. Think about that ratio. $30,000 from YouTube ads versus $3 million from my business in just a 6-month time period. That is a 100-to-1 ratio. So while other people are chasing viral videos and ad revenue, we use YouTube and our clients use YouTube as a funnel to attract ideal clients and the right people. And here's the thing, even though I have, 600,000 plus subscribers, I only have about 4,000 people that I've actually served inside of my program. I don't need this massive audience. I'm grateful for it, but I don't need it. And truthfully, if I started YouTube today, I would have built it in such a different way. Consider me your guinea pig, because I've learned so much over a decade on YouTube, and that's what I'm gonna be sharing in this video. If I could start over, these are the things that I would do from day one. Now, I could jump right into YouTube strategies, and yes, we have a lot of them, but that is not at the core of how I actually built a very profitable and scalable YouTube channel. So we're gonna dig into YouTube strategy later in the video. But the foundation of that $5 million a year business isn't my subscriber count. Actually, has nothing to do with it. It's something that we call the POP. Okay, so the profitable offer prototype, that's what that stands for. And it's what separates sustainable income and impact from everyone else struggling to scrape by financially who's creating YouTube videos. Now you might be thinking, what the heck is a POP? Great question. So I'm gonna break it down for you in detail. And if there's one thing that you want to just screenshot and freeze frame and hit pause on right now, it's this. There is a very, very, very intentional order to creating a successful and sustainable business online, and it looks like this. It has to start with your offer, which ultimately is your POP. Then from there, we have to really know who is your ideal client avatar. From there, we need to know, well, what's the messaging that's going to attract that ideal client, because that is how you generate leads. From there, you then generate sales. This is the foundation of consistent scalability and sustainable income and impact with a business online. Okay, so we have to know the order of events before we can even dive into what this looks like, because most people start here. Most people think if I just start creating content and I just throw a bunch of reels on Instagram, or I create a bunch of TikToks, or I make a bunch of tweets, or I start posting YouTube videos, magically people will become paying clients and I'll be a millionaire. Wrong, doesn't work that way. I assure you it does not work that way. We have to start here. So that's where we're starting right now. So your POP is a live test version of your future scalable offer. Think of it like this. Instead of spending months creating the perfect course and then hoping people buy it, you flip the script completely. So your POP allows you to validate your program by enrolling real human beings and collecting data, testing, and refining your curriculum in real time. And here's the best part. You actually generate cash flow while creating the best possible program. The mindset shift here is really crucial, and I cannot stress this enough. Think like a scientist, not a perfectionist. So your pop is designed to evolve based on feedback. So you launch it quickly and adjust as needed. There's actually a saying that I love that really captures this, and it's, if you are not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you've launched too late. So that's exactly what we're talking about here. Your pop includes 3 essential elements, and when these work together, magic happens. So what are the elements? It has to include curriculum, first and foremost. That is number 1. So when I say that, it means the step-by-step transformation planned out and mapped out for your clients. This isn't some overwhelming, massive program. It's a lean, focused path that gets your client from 0 to hero. The next piece is coaching. So when it comes to coaching, it's live sessions to provide support and answer questions. So this is where you show up, deliver value, portray your authority and expertise that you have earned and now can share with more people, and help your clients overcome obstacles in real time. From there, the third crucial part is community. And I actually cannot stress this enough, especially in today's day and age with so much AI and so much isolation. People want to learn in community. It actually accelerates results. So this becomes a space for clients to engage, stay accountable, and accelerate the results, like I said. So this is really, I believe, where the magic happens, because your clients actually start helping each other. So Christine, one of our clients, told me this validation process literally saved her from creating a curriculum that wouldn't have served her clients. She could have spent months building the wrong thing. Instead, she went on to make $100,000 with her course in just 12 months because she started with her pop first. The beautiful thing about your pop, and this is gonna blow your mind, I hope it does, you get clients in the door before you create any content at all. So you're minimizing the friction and getting from problem to solution as quickly as possible. Most people have this backwards. They think they need to create everything first and then hope people will buy. That's terrifying and so inefficient. With a pop, you're getting paid to create your content while delivering a real transformation. So the pop is gonna create 3 very specific outcomes. So the first thing it's going to provide you with, and this is important when you have a business, is it's going to give you cash flow. And what I mean by that is it's not just money in the bank, but it's giving you peace of mind and capital that you can then reinvest back into the business, plus a security blanket as you continue to build. So you're not burning through savings while building your program. The second thing is really important, and I think often gets overlooked, but to go from a concept of a program to an actual program that you're selling takes confidence. It takes proof that you can do it. And that's why this piece is so crucial. And there's really nothing quite like the confidence that comes from knowing people will actually pay for what you're offering. So when you've successfully enrolled clients and you see them getting results, you do develop this validation in your ability to be able to turn this into a real business. And the third thing that comes from doing the pop, which is so vitally important to the long-term success, is results. So client results are really the engine that keeps the business running for the long term. This is really your ultimate marketing asset. When you have real people getting real transformation from your methodology, you have proof that your offer works. And this becomes the social proof that makes scaling really effortless. So let's talk about the ideal client research, because you can't get client results and confidence and cash flow without real human beings investing into what you do. But we don't start there. And again, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, what about YouTube? The reason I'm focusing on this so much is because of that order I shared earlier. If we haven't figured out what we're monetizing and how to monetize what we know, then YouTube isn't gonna work. So we have to do this piece first. So let's talk about the process of really digging into the pain points, the struggles, the things that your ideal client needs the most help with, so that your YouTube channel turns into a sales and income and impact generating machine. Okay, so let's talk about what is required before you actually start generating revenue through YouTube with, let's say, an online program. And this is where most people get it completely wrong. When putting together a program or a course, they guess at what their audience wants instead of actually finding out. And then they're like, well, why am I not making any sales? This is why. So the pop process takes a very different approach. It starts with something we call ICA interviews. So research before revenue. So ideal client interviews, back in the day, before I created a single piece of content, I had conversations with 50 people who represented my ideal clients. Plus anyone that I was working with, I listened so intently to their common questions. And it helped me understand, oh, people are asking the same things over and over again. There's the same common pain points and issues. I could probably package this into something that would allow me to impact more people without trading all of my time for money. So these were not sales calls, okay? These are strictly research calls. So I could understand their pain points, their language, their biggest struggles. And this is what is at the foundation of what we call magnetic messaging. Okay, so remember the order of events. We have offer, ICA, ideal client avatar, messaging, 2 sales, 2 leads, 2 sales. It has to go in this order. If it doesn't go in that order, you're going to start maybe with your content, which speaks to everyone or no one, which means you get no leads and you get no sales. And you're going to wonder why. And it's because we haven't done this work here first. So that's where the research before revenue part comes into play. So magnetic messaging really makes people feel like you're in their head. And it allows you to create content that speaks directly to your ideal client. So your ICA interviews hand deliver the exact verbiage, content topics, and messaging you need to attract more people like them. So really good marketing isn't just made up or throwing spaghetti at the wall. It comes from listening to real people. So Samira discovered this when she replaced her $5,000 monthly university salary with a 6-figure business. She focused on helping academics get published in prestigious journals. After years of rejection, her deep understanding of their journey gathered through research calls became her competitive advantage. So this interview process helps people fix the biggest mistake I see business owners make, and that's being really vague. They think they need to attract the most eyes on their content, so they go with broad messaging. Wrong. Okay, broad equals broke, specific equals sales, or precise equals profits. The more specific you are about who you serve, the easier it becomes to attract the right people. And that's why doing this process first, listening to people, allows you to get to the right person even faster. So a good example of this is Anna, who generated $225,000 with just 15 subscribers because she understood this principle. She's a neuroscientist who didn't need thousands of followers. She needed the right followers who were ready to invest in her very specific expertise. This is why subscriber count is so not the goal. You want targeted connections. That is the goal. So if you want to learn how to use this research-driven approach to build something that can last, to build a profitable offer that stands the test of time, click the link in the description or scan this QR code and you can access our YouTube monetization plan from day one on demand, okay? Now, let's talk about the marketing system as a whole. So once you have your POP structured and you understand your ideal client, let's talk about building the actual messaging and the actual marketing machine. So when we look at your marketing machine or your marketing system, you might be thinking to yourself, okay, now YouTube, I get it. But no. So here's the key. We're not going to start with YouTube. I know you're probably thinking, what the heck? This is a video about YouTube. Promise you I'm doing this for a very good reason, okay? And I know this process works in this order. So stay with me because this is crucial. So think of on-demand client attraction as speed dating and YouTube as marriage. You got to test the waters before you commit. And here's why. There are 2 types of lead generation. There is, let's break it down. So attracting leads into your business comes from either on-demand or it comes from evergreen. For your POP and to prove your offer, you focus exclusively on demand. And before you ask, why not YouTube? I'm just going to explain. So when you start with YouTube too early without knowing your ideal client inside and out and proving your offer, you're going to make the wrong content and it's going to screw up the algorithm. You're going to confuse YouTube about who you're trying to reach and what you want to be known for, and that's going to hurt your channel in the long run, and it's going to hurt your ability to bring in leads on demand. So on-demand marketing puts the power in your hands. You're finding clients instead of waiting for them to find you. On-demand activities generate immediate results. We're talking days, not months. So you can test your messaging before committing to evergreen content. Actually, this is going to make your evergreen content that much stronger. Okay? So it's the easiest and fastest way to start attracting clients by starting with on-demand. Here's the beautiful thing. This is why the ICA process is so genius. You've already done the hardest part of marketing. You've successfully gotten 50 people to get on a call with you. That's the only skill you need to be able to market and sell forever. Your POP marketing uses what I call the no friction funnel. You literally go from using this funnel to book ICA calls to using the exact same funnel to book sales calls. And the process is nearly identical. The 3 priorities for POP marketing are very simple, okay? So first and foremost, we're going to convert warm leads. These are your easiest clients to enroll. So these are the people that you spoke to on ICA calls that were super engaged. You want to just go ahead and re-engage them with follow-up. Some of these people are already sold on what you do. They just need to know you actually have something to offer to them. The second piece of the puzzle is repeating your best ICA booking strategies. Because guess what? The ICA research calls are like a boot camp for knowing how to find leads and generate leads without having an existing audience for the rest of time. So you want to double down on what works. So you don't want to reinvent the wheel. If LinkedIn worked for booking ICA calls, guess what? It'll work for booking sales calls too. If referrals worked for booking ICA calls, it'll work for booking sales calls too. The third piece of this is then, we're just going to say magnetic messaging, MM. So you then create content that attracts your ideal clients like a magnet. But here's the thing, you're not creating random content hoping that something sticks. You're creating targeted content based on everything you learned from your ICA interviews. So marketing activities that worked best for you to attract ICAs become your key levers. And here's the genius of knowing what your key levers are, which most entrepreneurs don't, and it keeps them stuck throwing spaghetti at the wall. You then can revisit those same tactics to continuously scale your offer and attract more clients as time goes on. What we have seen with this process with our clients is that oftentimes doing the ICA research process teaches them their best lead generation strategy and platform. That then allows them to only focus on that strategy and that platform to scale instead of trying to throw spaghetti at the wall and do everything at once, which just makes them spread thin and not very effective at all. So this really just shows you that, like, at the end of the day, business is not easy, but it is simple. You got to double down on what works and subtract anything that doesn't or creates a distraction. So you want to focus on strategies that come easiest to you and have the least friction. And whatever you do not start a brand new platform right now. Learning a new platform plus trying to market equals distraction and delays. And what we're ultimately trying to do, we're getting to YouTube now, is that we are ultimately trying to prove our messaging by doing this so that we know what kind of content and messaging actually works in an evergreen fashion to bring us in leads while we're not working. Okay, we did it. We made it here. So let's talk about the evergreen machine. Once you've successfully run your POP and have real client results, then you build your evergreen marketing machine. So this is where YouTube becomes truly your secret weapon. So your program starts as a POP delivered live, so you can test your offer and get social proof quickly. Once you deliver it, you then turn it into an SOP, which we call a scalable offer prototype. So this becomes the pre-recorded version that your clients can study on their own time. So our YouTube strategy is built around what we call the content scaling funnel, and everything is directing people towards that offer. So each piece of the funnel is very important and each plays an important role. So it allows you to meet people where they are. So top of the funnel, which we call tofu, this is all about awareness. This is all about building awareness for why people would actually need to work with you. And this is really for people who don't know who you are or how you can help them. So you want to create wide net topics that align with trending searches, but still speak to your ideal clients. So for example, a fitness coach might create the shocking truth about weight gain, why your diet isn't the problem. It's broad enough to attract new viewers, but specific enough to attract people who are struggling with weight loss. And the key here is, again, meeting them where they think they are, not where you know they need to be in order to actually take an investment seriously and do the work and get results. So they might think they need a new workout routine, but what they actually need is proper nutrition guidance. So you create content that addresses their surface level concerns while subtly introducing them to deeper solutions. Then that brings us to the middle of the funnel. And at the middle of the funnel, it's educational content for warm leads. So for people who know about you or what you do, but aren't quite ready to invest. So you provide them how-to content and strategy breakdowns that showcase expertise. This is where a web design business coach might create content like why most web designers fail to transition to freelancing and how you can succeed. Or freelance success blueprint, how I went from 40K to 100K in 1 year. This content positions you as the go-to authority while educating them about the process. So they're starting to see that there's a systematic way to build what they want, and you're the person who can guide them through it. And then the bottom of the funnel, which is your BOFU content, this is conversion content for hot leads. So it's hyper-targeted content that speaks directly to urgent pain points of people who are ready to take action. So these are titles like Secret to Mental Clarity, My Client's Transformations from Exhausted to Energized, or Transform Aggressive Dogs into Happy Companions, the proven method that brings families together. This content is designed for people who are actively looking for an urgent solution right now, urgent being key. They have a high intent to invest in help, and they're ready to book a call if the content resonates. So the secret to making this funnel work is mastering what we call authority keywords. So that means, I'm gonna put that here. It allows you to dominate your niche in the algorithm. Okay, so it creates algorithm authority. So it's specific search terms that position you as the go-to expert in your niche while attracting your ideal clients on autopilot. So instead of chasing high volume generic keywords, focus on authority building search terms that your ideal clients are actually typing into YouTube. So these are the phrases that indicate someone is ready to invest in a solution, not just browsing for entertainment. So how do you actually identify your authority keywords? Okay, so the secret here to actually generating and identifying how you want to show up in the algorithm and what keywords you want to own starts with what we're going to call pain point keywords. So pain point keywords ultimately are things like specific problems that your ideal client is searching for and needs the solution for right now. So fill in these blanks. How to solve a specific problem without common struggle, or why current approach isn't working for a specific audience. And then there is transformation keywords. These are crucial. So this goes to show what outcomes your ideal client is desperately seeking. So how to go from current state to desired state, or the real reason your ideal audience struggles with specific challenge. Then there is authority position keywords. Now, what does that mean? So these would be terms that establish you as the go-to authority and the expert. So some examples would be, the exact framework that I use to achieve X results, or what industry insiders like myself know about a specific topic. Okay, so it's like the inside scoop based on real experience, because that can't be faked or copied. So here's a little activity that will help you narrow it down. Go to YouTube and type in a problem that you know your ideal client struggles with, and look at the top search results and write them down. So select the most compelling and precise topic possible, and this becomes your authority keyword foundation. The goal isn't to rank for business tips or marketing strategies. It's to own the specific searches like how to validate a course idea before building it, or why coaches with expertise still struggle to get clients. So once validated, your evergreen marketing machine looks like this. We start with YouTube over here, and then from YouTube, it's going to take you to a lead magnet. Ultimately, something that provides your ideal viewer and client with value so that they opt into and become a part of your email list. From there, they're going to be nurtured through emails, automated and emails that you send to your list. And then that generates potential and a pipeline of leads for, ultimately, we'll go down here, a free consult, a discovery call, a strategy session, ultimately a place where you can really speak to people in depth and understand if they're a good fit or not for your program. And then that's going to lead to either you making an offer for them to become a client or no client. But that is the funnel and the system based off of building authority with your keywords, building authority in the algorithm on YouTube so you're discovered by your ideal client on YouTube, and then actually capturing your viewers onto your email list that you own, because you don't own YouTube. So we want to make sure that we own your list, because that's ultimately where the conversion is going to happen. Okay, so let me break down each step in this process. So the YouTube content in and of itself, every video is going to serve a strategic purpose in the funnel. I'm not creating a random content hoping something sticks. Each video is designed to attract a specific type of viewer using authority keywords and moving them to the next step. And again, keywords don't have to be one word. It can be a sentence. It can be a long tail keyword. It just has to be relevant to your ideal client. And then from there, the lead magnet, instead of sending people directly to a sales call, I'm going to offer something of value for them first. This might be a guide, a webinar, a free resource that solves an immediate problem. And this filters out the tire kickers and gives me genuinely interested and qualified leads. Then from there, they're on the email list. They're part of your email sequence. And once someone opts in, they're going to enter into this carefully crafted email sequence that includes more value, social proof, client results to build trust and authority. And it really nurtures them over time. And trust, I do believe, is the biggest key to a good marketing strategy. So this allows you to build it on autopilot. Then you have your free consult, whatever you want to call it. By the time someone gets on the call, they're actually already really educated about your approach, and they're pretty pre-sold on the value. So we're not trying to convince them. We are actually determining if they're a good fit for our offer in our program. So a perfect example of this in action is I created a video that got 7,300 views, not massive by YouTube standards. And that was like over a year, but it generated $178,000 in revenue in just 5 days, in the first 5 days of publishing it. That's $24 per view compared to the average YouTuber making 1 to 3 cents per view from ad revenue. Why did it work? Because those 7,300 views were exactly the right people with high retention, taking action on targeted content that used precise authority keywords. So the video wasn't designed to go viral. It was designed to attract my ideal client, and the title spoke directly to their pain point using authority keywords. Okay, they were actually searching for the content provided, and it gave them the value they needed while positioning myself as the authority in the solution with a clear call to action to drive them into the funnel. So this is why views aren't the best metric to measure as a business owner using YouTube. Instead, these are the things that you really want to look at. So this is really how I break this down. So I'm going to call these the metrics to measure as a business owner using YouTube. Notice how I'm not saying these are the YouTube metrics that you want to measure because they're different. So the first thing is your retention, not your views. And ideally, we're aiming for a retention rate of 40% or higher. And that means, are people actually watching the video and engaging? The next thing is your CTR. So your CTR percentage should range between 5 to 10% ideally. And that means among your ideal viewers, not just anyone, because that's telling you that the right people are clicking and it's actually relevant to your ideal clients and viewers. From there, qualitative feedback. It is not the number of comments that you're looking at. You want to see, are the comments from people who need my help? Are they in depth? Are they just surface level? You want people actually paying attention and caring enough to write a thoughtful comment. And from there, the most important metric that basically no one really ever measures, but it's DPV. So what that means is dollar per view. So how much revenue does each view on your video generate for your business? And then the next piece is authority keyword rankings. Am I showing up when my ideal clients are searching for solutions? So I'm going to say authority keyword rankings, AKR. And you can see all of this in the back end, and you can see it through whatever monetization platform you're using as well. And most importantly, you want to make sure that any content you're creating has trackable links in it so you can truly measure each of these pieces. So the higher your dollar per view, the more targeted and profitable your audience is. And the irony there is it means you might have less views, but the people watching are actually paying attention, actually investing into what you have to offer. So this proves that you're appealing to the right people with your content using the right authority keywords, not just chasing vanity metrics that don't translate to business results. So when you combine the content scaling funnel, which we talked about earlier as a little reminder, and you combine it with strategic authority keyword targeting, you then create a system that doesn't just build an audience, it builds a business that attracts your ideal clients when you're not working. And that creates what we call the legacy business model. So the POP process that we talked about first and foremost is specifically designed to create 3 outcomes that we've talked about that are absolutely essential for scaling in the long term. You need to have cash flow, confidence, and client results as the foundation. But this is the bigger picture. The POP is your first step toward building a business that can create impact and income without relying on you. Because where do you think all of your YouTube topics come from? Your YouTube topics come from your offer. And ultimately, your offer has to start as your POP. So if we don't get that right, none of this matters and none of it works. So really, that POP is creating the base of allowing you to build a business that can create an impact and income without relying on you and your time. So I always ask my clients this question, which is morbid, but if you were to die tomorrow, how could your business still get client results? That, again, is dark, but it's the most important question you can ask yourself as an entrepreneur. Your POP structure forces you to think this way from day one. The curriculum needs to be duplicatable for each client you enroll. If your program relies on you and your time and your constant customization, you've done it wrong. Your clients need to be able to study your curriculum and get the exact desired outcome they're after without relying on you being there every step of the way. This is what separates a true business from a glorified job. Online education allows you to educate more people at the same time and creates a mentorship and mastermind community between your clients, which expedites results and allows you to package your expertise instead of wasting time repeating the same answers over and over again and hitting that ceiling. So again, Jeffrey is the perfect example of this. Before he joined our program, Jeffrey had been working on his program for 2 years without making any sales. He had no audience and was stuck in a glorified job trap, trading his time for money with no scalability in sight. Following our POP process step by step, Jeffrey went from having no business at all to generating over $1.2 million in revenue within just 18 months. Today, he consistently earns $130,000 to $150,000 a month organically without running a single ad. Even better, he's transformed the lives of countless men, helping them repair their marriages, all while his business runs systematically without requiring his constant presence. So let's talk about the beautiful compound effect of all of this. As more clients get results, you have more social proof. That leads to a beautiful thing, because when you have social proof, that actually creates higher conversion rates, meaning more people are going to invest because they know that it actually works, which ultimately leads to more clients, which creates more social proof, even higher conversion rates, even more clients. That's the beauty of this. So really what I want you to take from this is if you have a program that sucks, doesn't matter how many YouTube subscribers you have, doesn't matter how much you're marketing or how much content you're creating, if your offer sucks, nothing works. Good marketing can't fix a bad offer. Okay, so it's a compound effect that builds over time. And today, the majority of our clients still come from organic traffic. We use minimal paid ads because our organic system is so effective based on what I broke down today. So when you have a system that works, you can reinvest profits into growth rather than desperately trying to buy your way to success. But I would never invest in paid ads for an offer that I didn't have results or proof for. That's like throwing money at a dumpster fire. It's a problem. So even though you can set up the fanciest marketing machine in the world, again, nothing beats the power of word of mouth. And word of mouth doesn't happen if, again, not to harp on this, but if you don't have a good offer, if you don't have the pop as the basis of this. So the clients who are happy with your program started to refer strangers. And we've seen this happen in real time over the past 7 years, almost 7 years now. Clients who are happy with our program, they start to tell other people about it. And this creates this sort of self-sustaining, completely organic marketing process based on referrals. With time, it becomes super clear how many leads we need per month to hit our targets and create predictable revenue. That creates consistency. So take Alex and Beth, a husband and wife who specialize in helping people start cleaning businesses that are super peaceful and profitable. They've been relying on paid marketing strategies to sell their coaching offer. After working with us, they pivoted to a simpler method and they doubled their net income in their first month. They're now bringing in $100,000 months. And their channel, it's a modest 34,000 subscribers, and they're only posting 1 to 2 videos a month. Compare that to people with hundreds of thousands of subscribers making pennies per subscriber. So Alex and Beth succeeded because they approached YouTube as business owners, okay? Not content creators. They focused on getting the right eyeballs on their content, not just any eyeballs, so that they can really serve at the deepest level through their program. The content brings them in, they create the transformation in their program. This creates what I call the business flywheel. Transformational program leads to enrollments, which leads to client transformation, which leads to word of mouth, which brings more ideal clients back to your program. So as the business grew and we continued to scale, I was able to grow a team so I could focus on what I was best at and what I wanted to do versus what I had to do. That's the freedom I was seeking. Total freedom of choice in how I spend my time and where I put my energy. And the key is starting with one online program, treating it as an entire business, because it is. From my experience, trying to grow 2 or 3 or 4 businesses at once is a losing battle. That's why it's one platform, one YouTube channel, one program. Focus on one, perfect it, and let the compound effect work for you. So look, I've shared the behind the scenes of how this actually works, what our stats are, how to build something like we built, this $5 million a year business using YouTube, but knowing and doing are two different things. So the difference between people who succeed and those who stay stuck is taking action. So you can have the best strategy in the world, but if you don't implement, it's worthless. So here's what I want you to understand. This isn't about going viral or having the most subscribers. It's about having the right offer, knowing your ideal client intimately, and building a system that works 24/7. So if you're serious about turning your knowledge into a profitable business, if you want to stop trading time for money and start building something that you can scale, then you need to take the first step. So remember to click the link in the description, scan this QR code right here, or just comment monetize below, and we'll send you our complete guide to monetize YouTube from day one on demand and for free. So it's going to show you exactly how to set up your own profitable offer prototype, start generating revenue from your expertise immediately. And I assure you, if this is landing and making sense for you, you don't want to continue to wait. You don't want to say, what if? So Christine made $100,000 in 12 months by starting with validation, this exact process. Anna generated $225,000 with 15 subscribers by being hyper specific. And Samira replaced her university salary by understanding her ideal client at the deepest level. Not everyone, the right people. So they all started exactly where you are right now. The only difference is they actually took the action and followed the process. So your knowledge is valuable. Your expertise can transform lives. Please just stop hiding it and start sharing it with the world using an actual proven system that's been around for almost a decade. So thanks for watching. And I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in the next video where I'm actually gonna show you exactly how to take the business model I walked you through today and use it to start making money on YouTube from day one. So check it out here, and I'll see you there. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.